Andrej Karpathy, the guy who built Tesla's self-driving AI, co-founded OpenAI, just said that software developers are developing a kind of psychosis. Not metaphorically. He's describing a real cognitive shift where programmers are losing the ability to think for themselves. And here's the part that should worry you. He says developers are just the first wave. Everyone else is next. So this comes from a recent piece where Karpathy lays out what he's calling AI psychosis. And no, he's not being dramatic for clicks. His actual thesis is pretty specific. He's watching developers, people whose entire job is solving problems with logic, increasingly outsource their judgment to large language models. Not just the boring parts, the thinking parts, the reasoning, the part where you actually understand what your code does, and the timing matters. We're at this inflection point where AI coding tools are everywhere. GitHub Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor. Every developer is using at least one of these daily. Karpathy's argument isn't that these tools are bad, it's that the relationship between the developer and the tool has quietly flipped. The human used to drive. Now the AI drives and the human just approves the pull request. If you work in tech, this affects you directly. If you don't, stick around. Because Karpathy's whole point is that this pattern is going to repeat in every knowledge profession. Here's the first symptom Karpathy is pointing at. Developers are accepting AI-generated code they don't fully understand, and they're doing it with confidence. That's the dangerous part. It's not that they know they're confused. They genuinely believe they understand it because the AI explained it in natural language, and the code looks right. Think about what that means. You ask an LLM to write a function. It gives you 40 lines. You read through it, it looks reasonable. The variable names make sense. You ship it. But you never actually trace the logic yourself. You never asked what happens at the edge case. You trusted the vibes. This is fundamentally different from copying code off Stack Overflow 5 years ago. Back then, you'd grab a snippet, but you'd still have to wire it into your system yourself. You had to understand the context. Now the AI gives you the context too, prepackaged, and that's what makes it so easy to stop thinking. Second symptom, when something breaks, the first instinct is no longer to read the error message. It's to paste the error into the AI and ask what went wrong. And look, that works a lot of the time. But Karpathy's concern is about what it does to the developer's mental model over months and years. Debugging is how you actually learn how systems work. When you hit a seg fault or a race condition and you have to dig through logs and stack traces, that's where deep understanding comes from. Every senior developer will tell you the same thing. They learned the most from the hardest bugs. If you skip that process every time because the AI gives you a quick fix, you end up with developers who've been coding for 3 years but have the debugging instincts of someone on day one. They can produce code, they cannot diagnose code. And that gap is invisible until something really goes wrong in production at 2 in the morning. Third symptom, and this is the one I think is most important. Developers are losing the ability to make architectural decisions. Not because they forgot how, because they never had to learn. When you're starting a new project and the AI suggests a tech stack, a folder structure, a database schema, and you just go with it, you're skipping the entire decision-making process that used to be the core skill of a senior engineer. Should this be a monolith or microservices, SQL or no SQL? Do we need a message queue here? These aren't questions with obvious answers. They require judgment built from experience. But if the AI always picks for you, you never build that judgment. Karpathy's point is that we're creating a generation of developers who are incredibly productive on day one and plateau almost immediately after. They can build fast, but they can't reason about trade-offs. And when the AI is wrong about a fundamental architectural choice, and it will be, nobody on the team has the experience to catch it. So here's where I want to connect the dots and share where I think this goes. Everyone's celebrating the productivity gains from AI coding tools right now. And the gains are real, but I think we're heading toward a productivity cliff that almost nobody is talking about. Right now, senior developers, the ones who learned to code before LLMs, they're using these tools effectively because they have the foundation to evaluate the output. They know when the AI is wrong. They know when a suggestion is subtly dangerous. They're getting genuinely faster without losing quality. But those seniors are going to retire, and the juniors replacing them learn to code with AI from day one. They're fast, but they've never built the muscle memory for deep technical reasoning. So, my prediction is this. In about 3 to 5 years, companies are going to start seeing production failures they can't explain. Not because the code was written badly in an obvious way, but because nobody on the team truly understood why the system was built the way it was. The AI decided, the team approved, and when the assumption breaks, there's nobody left who can trace the logic back to first principles. This isn't just a developer problem, by the way. This is exactly what Karpathy is warning about for everyone. Lawyers using AI to draft contracts they don't fully parse. Doctors using AI to suggest diagnoses they don't fully verify. The pattern is the same. Outsource the judgment, keep the confidence, lose the understanding. AI Psychosis. So here's the one thing to take away. The tool isn't the problem. The problem is forgetting that you're supposed to be smarter than the tool. If you're using AI and you still question its output, you're fine. If you've stopped questioning, that's the psychosis. If this made you think, hit subscribe. Next video, we're breaking down why AI companies are suddenly terrified of open source. See you there.